Hey guys, Phil/Polygon here, kicking off the start of what I hope becomes a no-death run through Dark Souls 2 from scratch. That's your PvE alert right there. And I've never been a big challenge run guy, but I was just kind of goofing around this morning and thought, yeah, let's dip our toes in that water. I've not earned a Ring of the Conquerors, and I've never finished a series. But hopefully this changes both of those things. We shall see. Cool. So I'm actually pretty stoked to do this series, and as the character creation stuff plays out in the background, I'll go into those reasons now. I'm actually starting as an explorer because I like the starting goodies, and I think the armor is just so charming. I love that bird on your shoulder. I'm trying to make this character a young Santa Claus, so give him the fetching beard, make him as white as possible. There's not a lot of sun at the North Pole. And I should also point out, young Santa, a lot of people don't know this, kind of a dick. Most people think of Santa Claus as just the old, fat, jolly man, but young, skinny Santa is quite rude. He just takes pot shots at a lot of the NPCs as we go along. He's also not that big on learning, so that should be fun. But I'm pretty excited to do this run. The first reason is it kind of ties back into what I was saying about not being able to finish a series, not having the discipline, I guess, to continue series going. I'm doing this on the fly, so it has kind of a built-in kill switch. If I die, it's over. I'm just kind of doing these on the fly. I am kind of posting videos as I play through little sections of the game, so this is not a canned run. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to complete this. I'm fairly confident I won't, and if I die, that's the end. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I think that's kind of cool and exciting. It has sort of a faux-live flavor to it. I am markedly not taking that backstab. Young Santa does not take backstabs that are spoon-fed to him. He has to earn them. Just like he has to earn the eggnog to put in that little coffee cup slung on his belt. Oh, that explorer armor. So I have no idea how this is going to end. I will say the commentary is post. I'm not doing live commentary because if I have a snowball's chance in hell, I need to focus while I'm playing and not talk. Snowball's chance in hell. A snowball. Because we're young Santa. And it's snow. It's cold. It's Christmas time. That's the last of it. I promise. But kind of on that note, one thing that I'm trying to do with this playthrough is be acutely unaware that it's a challenge run. I don't really want to play it that safe. One thing I notice in a lot of these types of playthroughs where somebody's trying to prove something or do something or accomplish something is a lot of times the player will be very safe about things. There'll be a lot of bow work, a lot of ranged work, a lot of shielding up. And it doesn't always make for the most interesting watching. So I am trying to be a little bit entertaining with it. I'll make a crap ton of very stupid decisions and very terrible parry attempts and stuff like that, and just try and be a little bit more aggressive to keep things moving. It is a challenge run, but I'm still trying to have fun with it. So it's kind of a goof around challenge run. I'm not taking it that seriously. And again, I understand that's a terrible approach for this type of thing, but I gotta get my jollies from it. And hopefully that makes it a little bit more engaging to watch too. You don't have to sit here and check me out as I snipe enemies with 200 arrows for about 92 damage from, hundreds and hundreds of yards away. I'll try and rush in. I'll try and be a little headstrong. And like I said, just make some hopefully exciting but very stupid decisions. I'm also kind of excited because I think this is going to be a good format for just sort of talking through the game and maybe pointing out some things, and it's a good backdrop for solid conversation. So through any of this, I'll probably just be spitting out some random stuff, thoughts on the game and various comments and criticisms and praises and things like that. So anything that you catch and have thoughts on, definitely hit me up in the comments, share. We'll just turn it into a nice little chat. Hooray, Majula. And so I'm just kind of gearing up here in the beginning and picking up some basic stuff. And of course, young Santa's a dick. It is so gratifying to just smack that guy in the face. I'm actually trying to I'm actually trying to be pretty disrespectful to that guy because I think it falls in line well with the lore. If you follow his arc and you keep buying shit from him, he eventually turns out to be kind of a prick. And I think if I'm mean to him early on, just walk away from him, give him a pop in the face here and there, I think it plays out well with that storyline where eventually he's just lounging there by his little kiln. He's kind of like, what? Who are you? It's like, you ass. I've given you 16,000 souls and you're just like playing dumb. Ugh. Go back to wherever he's from. Oh, he can't remember where he's from? Neener. Serves you right. And I think that's all I need. I should have gone and picked up those homeward bones up by Victor's Stone, the Victor's Stone. But I'll probably grab them later. Maybe I'll grab them when I head down into the Tower of Flame or something like that. So I'm not, again, just kind of the nature of this run, I'm not focusing on picking up items. I'm going to let a lot of things go and just kind of try and be quick about it. Try and keep things moving. There you go, Harold. Harold this. So I'm just going to hit the bonfire and then head for the Forest of Fallen Giants. Get this thing officially underway after giving my durability a little re-up. And route-wise, I'm thinking it'll be pretty traditional, at least for the first couple of episodes, barring any deaths, where I'm going to head for the forest, take out the last giant, and then probably go into the Tower of Flame to take out the Dragon Rider. I haven't decided if I'm going to take out Ornstein, or I'm sorry, if I'm going to take out the old Dragon Slayer, because he's an optional boss, but he might be a good fundraiser. There's young Santa. Look at the birds looking at you. Oh my god, I love that Explorer armor. But yeah, he might be a good fundraiser because he gives you decent souls and you can pop his soul for 10,000. And then I will probably take out the Pursuer and do No Man's Wharf and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I'm sure there's like an official guide to doing a no death run or something like that. But I'll be pretty straight with it, pretty linear with it until I hit the Lost Bastille. And then I'll probably start jumping around because I want to put off the fight with the Ruin Sentinels for as long as possible. I don't want to take them on until I'm ridiculously overpowered. I think that's the only way I'm going to feel safe about it because I have a feeling this thing could just shatter. When I jump down on the ground floor and get caught in the whirlwind spinny attack from 2 of them down there, and I would like to delay that if that is the end of me, and at least have a couple episodes under my belt before rushing right into that. So that's my plan. That's my rough plan. I haven't really gotten much farther than that in my head, so I don't know. We've got time. We've got time to figure it out, and we'll just run around and collect some goodies and kill hollows in the meantime. I'm going to go dish out some comeuppance to that archer over there. One thing I kind of dig, I know a lot of people always complain about the enemy setups where you have melee guys and then you probably have some archer up on a ridge or something like that pelting at you. That does suck. But one of the things I actually kind of dig about the archers in this game, the arrows don't track nearly like they did in Dark Souls 1. They do curve a little bit. They'll come in CQ, but I am really impressed with the ability of those archers to lead your characters. I've noticed in a lot of situations where if you are running perpendicular to somebody shooting at you, you're just running, horizontally at a consistent speed in a consistent line, they will absolutely lead you. They will shoot where you're going to be, and you'll just get randomly, hey, hero! You'll get randomly tagged by their arrows. I think the archers seem to be pretty proficient, and I think that's kind of cool. Irritating as hell, because they're really good at shooting you, but I think that's pretty slick. But I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of fun, and it forces you to be a little bit on your toes, throw some zigs and zags in your otherwise predictable straight line running. Wow, this whole thing might just crumble before our very eyes. Before even seeing a boss. Nah, we're all good. Got those life gems. It seems like this is probably a waste of time, but I really want those throwing knives. Picking up those 10 throwing knives early on, especially when I don't have the dex to use a bow or anything like that. I love being able to toss out those knives, and those things do some damage, man. I am so gleeful that they upped the damage on throwing items, especially those throwing knives early on, man. Those things are wicked. They're actually a fuck ton stronger than my little knife that I'm rocking. So that's kind of cool. Good job throwing knives. Good job game balancing. There's some positive things to say about what this dev team did. I've died here a couple times too, like just getting trapped on the steps, trying to swing, and you hit the wall, and then these guys just lumbering shambling along, just beat away on you with those axes. And the one guy has a fist. But not today. We're safe today. Nice little zag. Good job. It's always pretty gratifying to kill that guy too. Oh. That I find so annoying. I know a lot of people have pointed this out, and I'm sure it's something that everybody's come across, but like that little delay, if you completely deplete your stamina, the little bit of delay before you can start running again, that's weird. What is that? Does anybody know what that is? I do notice that if you swing and just completely eat your stamina bar down to nothing, your character does a special animation where he's standing still, where he kind of pants. He's like out of breath and he's just sitting there huffing and puffing. I wonder if that has something to do. I'd actually be curious to run a test on that to see if the timing of that coincides with how long it takes you to start running again. I was not expecting that. I hate that guy's little sucker style. There it is again. And we're about to die. Nope. Clutch parry. Good job, Dagger. But yeah, I'm wondering if like that little huffing and puffing animation has some correlation with the time it takes for you to start running again. Or if that's just something they put in there to further penalize you and manage your stamina a little bit better. You can't just go out there and spam. You can't just go out there and hold down the run button and run forever as soon as you're able to again. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting choice. Things are pretty spammy with the dagger at this point. I have no intention of making this a goof around, no death dagger challenge run. I'm going to swap this thing out as quick as possible. I have a little bit of forgiveness here in the beginning because I've played through it more than just about anything else. So I know these enemies decent. Oh, taking that back. I have never aggroed that guy from this point in the hallway. He usually just stands where he look, I'm checking him out. He usually just stands down there completely oblivious. He doesn't usually join the fray. I've never seen him rush down and try and give me a shot in the back like that before. That was kind of interesting. That's exciting. I hope we see more of those kinds of things on this no death, goof around, not a dagger challenge run. Just trying to not get popped in the head by those fire bombs. These guys are funny too. You can handle a lot of PvP situations like this too when you go up against spammers, where you wait for them to finish swinging, they can't swing anymore, and then they just stop. You just run up and give them a poke. Same thing with those hollows when they go into their little frenzy of swing, 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 swing. Good time. So for pacing, I'm actually trying to just get a bunch of stuff here at the beginning, and then I want to take this episode all the way through the defeat of the last giant. So that's what I'm aiming for. So this one might be a little bit lengthy. I just glanced down at the time because this is post-commentary, and it's about a half an hour. Come on, door. So this one's about a half an hour long. If I can actually open this door, I think I do this later on too. I do like how when you open doors, if you roll at just the right time, you can force the door open and get through it a little bit quicker. You don't have to wait for the door opening animation to complete. Apparently that doesn't work with those heavy double doors. And they are apparently spring loaded, because if you give up trying to open them, they just close again. I didn't know that there was a lot of pneumatic doors in Drangleic, but there seem to be more than you think. You know, and this is kind of embarrassing, but I actually just discovered you can bust through this door not too long ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. For the longest time, I would just have to wait on picking up this Estus Flask shard until I beat the last giant and got that soldier's key, and then I could come up here and just nonchalantly unlock that door. When in actuality, it's just beat up, and you can just pound through it. So there we go, learning new things every day. And apparently failing to jump attack. I will say, I dig this area, this Forest of Fallen Giants. I think it's pretty cool right from the get-go, where you kind of come out of the cave from Majula, and there's the babbling brook, and there's leaves on the ground and the trees, and the whole trek up to this old ruined fort. I think it's pretty cool. It is one of my favorite areas, even though it's one of the first areas in the game. And I just remember a little bit of nostalgia there. The first time I ever fired this up on launch day, and I was leaving Majula and coming out into the forest, and just being so worried and so, not scared, but just so expectant of an invasion. I thought as soon as I hit this area, there was just going to be a torrent of invaders pouring out of every corner to come and get me. And it was sort of like, oh my god, Souls at launch, it's going to be just a shitstorm of invasions. And no, didn't get invaded once my entire first playthrough. And I know that's been a lot of people's experience, and that is just, that sucks. The availability of the invasion items and things like that has really hampered kind of the experience. I remember being so excited stepping out into the first legit area of the game where there are enemies, where you're eligible for invasions, and then just nothing happens. I am pretty disappointed in that. I don't want to dwell too much on too many negative things, but man, I miss invasions. They almost don't seem to be a thing at all anymore because they almost never happen. And when they do, like, the balancing just makes it so not worrisome. It's like it's just a roll in the dice in terms of, am I going to be able to banish this guy? I don't know. I am disappointed in that. I miss kind of the trepidation and the worry. I'm playing offline, obviously, because this is a challenge run. This seems a little odd to be talking about invasions, but I do miss when you're out there just bombing around, especially in low levels and stuff like that. I miss feeling worried that I'm going to get invaded and absolutely destroyed. I don't know. It's just, I miss it. This little parry and riposte there. I was not expecting that swing, just kind of threw out the parry. That's actually something I've been working on after punishing that guy for getting cursed. But just using parries in a non-expectant manner. And what I mean, this is something I've been working on in both PvP and PvE, is just using parries as just another thing to throw out in the middle of a scrap. One thing I really don't like seeing, and that kind of bothers me, and that I felt myself falling into as far as a trap, is expecting to parry. Entering a situation where you know an enemy is going to attack, you know their timings, and so you just sit there and wait for them to swing, and then throw out a parry. That's on the PvE side. Or in PvP, just kind of going out looking for a parry. You kind of make up your mind before engaging that I am going to parry this guy. And so one thing that I've been working on is just being a little bit more random, being a little bit more seat of your pants in throwing out parries and just trying to catch them, you know, in the midst of all the other swing, dodge, backstep, swing, parry, all that kind of thing, and just kind of using them a lot more reactively. That's probably not viable, and I'm sure that's going to be the death of me later on. But again, it's a goof around, no death run, so why not? We'll try it. It's probably going to kick my ass later when enemies start hitting harder and harder and you really start getting punished for those failed attempts, but we shall see. So we're taking a quick little detour just back to Majula, level up a little bit, and I'm going to swap out my knife for a mace. A mace, I know, is kind of cheap for this kind of run because it's easy and does big damage and has great stun lock, especially early game. And actually, that's exactly why I'm using it. Because I'm not trying to die, and I'm just thinking of having to go up against those old knights in the Tower of Flame, or those turtle knights and stuff like that. And it just gets so tedious having to hit those guys 8 to 12 times to take them down. Whereas with a mace, you can do your strike damage and just take them out in like 2 or 3 hits. So I don't know, it lets you stagger bosses, it lets you do all kinds of things. So yeah, I might be taking the easy road here by using a mace, but fair warning, I'm taking the easy road here and using a mace. And another benefit actually of using the mace is it's got pretty good, forgot to sit at the bonfire. Come on, Leningrad, get up. Go to your shop. But another benefit of using the mace is it's got pretty good durability. And it's got some decent control on the swings too, so you don't necessarily hit a lot of walls or hit the ground or things like that to just kind of eat away at the durability. Because durability on the PC seems to be a little bit fucked up. I'm playing on the PC here, if you didn't catch it from like the Steam messages and stuff like that. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, so if you know for certain, definitely let me know. Give me some knowledge. But I think it's got something to do with the frame rate. So I'm playing at 60 frames a second here on the PC, and it seems like that does double durability damage to your weapons, so things degrade at twice the pace they do on the PS3 or the Xbox. That seems just like a weird, terrible, shitty little bug. But man, I noticed this because I was playing on the PS3 at launch and then transitioned over to the PC when that came out like a month later, when I noticed my weapons were just turning to dust super quick, a lot quicker than on the PS3. And I actually noticed it most of all with a halberd. My first character on the PC was rocking a halberd, and that thing would last maybe 6 fights when you're swinging with it, because you're getting note to self, parry timings are different with the mace than the dagger, but that thing, so it's like you're getting durability damage both by hitting the enemy and by hitting the walls or the floor when you do those overhand swings and things like that. And so those, I mean, the degradation on those was just obscene, and it's like I could not make it through this Forest of Fallen Giants with a halberd. I could not make it through the Tower of Flame with a halberd, and that was so discouraging, and it's kind of turned me off from using a lot of those weapons in PvE, which sucks because I kind of dig them and I'd love to play with them more. But I don't know. So if you know what's up with that in terms of the increased durability damage on the PC versus the consoles, share, man. What is going on there? And you know, the durability thing is kind of doubly punishing. One, because repair powder is fairly rare early on. It's kind of a scarce resource. But so are shards, dude. What is up with the availability of shards? They're kind of few and far between early game. I know you can get them in an unlimited quantity later. You can buy them from sweet Cloan after taking out the old Iron King, and towards end game you can get unlimited chunks and stuff like that. But I mean, early on, like in a from scratch playthrough, you kind of have to commit to a weapon. Otherwise you're just going to be spreading your resources too thin. So even if you do want to carry a backup, it's tough to keep it appropriately upgraded. And I mean appropriately upgraded in terms of base damage, because base damage plays such a huge factor in the numbers that you're putting out, that if you split your resources too much, you're going to find yourself kind of outgunned, and you're going to have to hit enemies a lot more often, which kind of ties back to the durability thing, because it's just consistently chipping away at your gear. Sorry, this is turning into a little mini rant. But I remember like the first month that I had the game, I just kept starting over and experimenting with like one weapon up until about No Man's Wharf. And when I finally found one I liked, I would say like, all right, let's continue on with this, just because shards are fairly rare, and it kind of forces you to pick a weapon and stick with it and just upgrade that if you want to have it, you know, actually doing decent damage against enemies and things like that. And I kind of miss being able to goof around with different weapons. I kind of miss being able to carry a scimitar and a mace and a rapier, so that you can get slashing, strike, and thrust damage. It'd be pretty tough to maintain those across a single character early on. And I mean, God help you if you want to upgrade your armor, upgrade your bow, upgrade your catalyst, and things like that. Pause for a moment as I point out the most awkward conversation I've ever had. Kale and I here with his face in my crotch. Talking maps, man, talking maps. But yeah, that kind of bugs me. I miss being able to just goof around with different weapons early on for different situations and things like that. And it's fine for playthroughs like this where you just commit. You say, okay, I'm going to use the mace, and then you can just pour all of your resources into upgrading this one thing come hell or high water. But I don't know. It kind of seems like it steers you in that direction early on. Maybe that's a design choice in terms of just getting you familiar with one weapon and maybe having a little bit better time through the game or things like that. But I don't know. It just kind of baffles me. It just kind of bugs me as you get a little bit more veteran and a little bit more familiar with playing, and you're saying like, okay, I want to use a falchion here, and now I want to use a bastard sword, and now I want to use a winged spear. Man, I don't like the impotence of the spears in this game. I actually really like spears. I like using spears, but they are so damn weak in Dark Souls 2. I've tried many spear runs, like getting winged spears that the Royal Soldier hollows drop in this area and things like that, and you're like, hell yeah, winged spear, earlier than I should have one, and just upgrading it, and then you get to, I don't know. I don't want to go off on that. But yeah, shards, man. What do you guys think about the scarcity of shards? It really bothers me. Maybe I'm missing something there, but I miss being able to just buy shards from the blacksmith. I guess maybe soul memory kind of breaks that too. Any chance we can get to take a shot at soul memory, right? Like, even if you could buy them in unlimited quantity from blacksmiths or things like that, that would just be souls that you're accumulating in your memory and not leveling and things like that. So you'd have decent gear, but you'd be at level 12, something like that. I don't know. I hate I hate when the ballistas miss that guy, because there's been a lot of times where I'll just go up and take a swing at him and he parries you. I hate getting parried by those stupid S-stock shield hollow guys, man. That sucks. That is such a sinking feeling, and I know I got nobody to blame for those situations but myself for just going in and swinging willy-nilly, but oh, that is just so infuriating. And if they actually riposte you, they one-shot you. Luckily, none of that happened. Here's another reason I actually like starting off with the Explorer, is you don't have to burn any souls or backtrack to the mansion to get a lockstone, and you can just pick up this Chloranthy ring right here. So cool armor, bird on your shoulder, free lockstone. Explorer! Good God, this is a long episode. I just glanced at my timer. We got 7 minutes left. So in the back of my mind, I'm also trying to think about what armor I want to use, because the weapon choice is made, like I was talking about. I think I want to keep my... I should have looked up the name of the armor. I keep saying the Explorer set. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I like the little headpiece. One, because it raises your item discovery and it doesn't look too stupid. Actually, I think it looks the opposite of stupid. I don't think there's anything on Earth cooler than 1, a monocle, and 2, a beret. And so the fact that I can wear a beret and a monocle in the same headpiece, oh my goodness, I might just faint. And I kind of want to keep my armor too. Ooh, run. I kind of want to keep the armor too, just because I like it. I find it just hilarious and cool. Oh, please don't drop the ball here. And then I don't know what else. I need to go patronize Maulin in both senses of the word, so that he upgrades his stuff. I'll probably buy a shield from him, and then maybe snag some of the Elite Knight stuff and maybe some of the Alva stuff later and mix it in a little bit. But I'm not sure what I'm going to wear. I love the hell out of the Alva armor, but you see it all over the place. You see it in so many playthroughs because it's so good. I don't fault anybody for wearing it, but I think I might stick with my my Explorer armor here and upgrade that a little bit too, because I mean I feel like my bird would get lonely, and where would I put all my drinks? Got all those cups hanging off me, and merit badges apparently. This character, Young Santa, is good at making fires, and he's earned all those merit badges. I guess that makes sense. You gotta stay warm in the Arctic, keep his elves and to be Mrs. Claus warm when you live in the North Pole. I need to get off this Santa thing. So I keep running around picking up a bunch of stuff here because I can't remember exactly what every little shiny item orb is, but I am very interested in getting all of the soul items, because I'm gonna burn all of those. I want to level up and have money for gear and armor and weapons and those rare shards and stuff like that. So I can't remember exactly what they all are, so I'm picking up probably more than I should. It's not as efficient as it could be, but I can't remember which ones are soul items and which ones aren't. So in a lot of ways, I'm erring on the side of caution. So I do apologize for that. We are nearing our last giant battle, though. I hate it when this guy moves too. Another one of those S-stock shield guys. I'm scared to jump down there because I'm going to get parried. Oh, dear. I've got that crossbow too. I think I might use the crossbow. Oh dear. I think I might use the crossbow through a good chunk of the run too, just because I've got about the strength to wield it. And I haven't really messed around with crossbows that much. So as great as an idea it is to use a weapon I'm unfamiliar with on what I'm hoping is a no-death playthrough, I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to give it a try. Seriously. I just realized that this last little segment is kind of deviating from what I said about trying to play aggressively too. I was playing it pretty safe by crossbowing those guys in the window and trying to get a plunging attack on that Royal Soldier Hollow. And also with those turtle guys, but I'm scared to death of those turtle guys, man. I feel like I can reasonably dodge all of their stuff, but then every now and again I'll go in and try and engage them, and they break into that 4-hit combo that just chews you up. If you have not leveled or anything like that, man, they will just catch you with that and just poop you out the other end. These guys are brutal. Not really. I'm running out of gas. I gotta think of something to say. I'm gonna pause for a second and then come back when I think of something to say, because I think I have enough time for just one more quick rant and then the boss fight. So give me a sec. Oh, I got it. Lizards, man, appropriate here. I will say, I really like the mace because it is a fantastic lizard smasher. That running R1, the overhead smash, just kind of crushes them. They seem fairly susceptible to strike damage too, so it's great for that. But the lizards in this game are such little bitches. Aside from the places where they just position them in what seems to be an impossible grab, the timers on them, they seem to be put on a timer and not on an actual escape. Because there's been a couple of places where they have just disappeared. They've faded out into nothing when they're on their back. And in the previous two, they would at least have to be doing that scramble into the wall in order to escape. Whereas in this one, I mean, sometimes they will just magically vanish. And that just seems weird. I don't know if there's like some lore reason behind that or where they actually escape to, if they're burrowing into the ground or if they're just connected with some sort of ephemeral phasing out of the world. Who knows? But man, there are so many lizards. There are a lot of lizards in this game that I just have never gotten. I don't think I have ever successfully gotten the one in Huntsman's Copse, where it's up on the ridge and there's like the couple of guys that shoot arrows at you and a couple of the club rogues and stuff like that, and he just runs off the ledge. He just doesn't care, and he starts running before you can catch up to him, and oh, I hate that little bastard. We'll see if I can get him with this one. That seems like it'd be one of those stupid decisions to make, to go after him recklessly, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there, assuming we make it to Huntsman's Copse. So the last giant, this guy, what can you really say about the last giant, aside from the guilt you feel from killing the last giant? I should have tried to cut off his arm before he ripped it off there. I actually just learned that. I learned that from one of Vati's top 10 videos. I had to give the video a like because I learned something new. Apparently you can chop off this guy's arm. I never have tried before, and it looks like you have to do it with ranged attacks or things like that, or just time it incredibly well when he's swinging at you, but you can cut it off before he rips it off, which I think is kind of interesting and kind of cool. And you can cut off the Rotten's arms too, which I've never done, but I know you can do it, and I think that's just kind of cool. Seems otherwise pointless, but neat nonetheless. Alright, so we are nearing the end of this video. I apologize because I feel like it's just been a lot of talking fairly quickly, and probably a lot of rambling too. So I'm going to utilize my soldier's key, pick up this regeneration ring, which I'm going to promptly put on, and then probably head back to Majula and do some leveling up and stuff like that. But I'll cut it before that. I'll save it for the next one, so we can kick the next one off with a bang. Young Santa starting strong in the level up screen. And otherwise, let me know what you guys think about this one. Let me know about the format, because it feels long to me, but I want to make sure that each one of these is sort of like a cohesive chunk. I don't want to just end them in random places. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the run in general. It's just kind of a PvE thing. Thoughts, feedback, comments, all that kind of thing. I should say too, man, I waited until the absolute last moment to say this. I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers. That is kick-ass. I really want to do something special for that because I cannot thank you guys enough. That is just freaking awesome. I will do something cool for that. This is not it. But I will see you next time. Thanks again. Yeah, that's all. Okay, bye.